Welcome back, everyone. This is Odysseus, and you are watching the Arkham Horror Campaign video series that I am in the middle of making. This is game number 1, and we're about to start turn number 9. I want to do a quick overview of our current situation. We have here 1 monster in the sky, 3 monsters in the outskirts. Our terror levels sitting on 2, not too bad there. We have currently open 4 gates, 1 at the woods, 1 at the unvisited isle, 1 at the witch's house, and 1 at Independence Square. We're currently sitting at the maximum monsters on the board, the monster limit being 7. And we have our monster situation. We've got looks like a vampire down on the south side. We have a couple of flying monsters, the fire vampire and the night gaunt, sitting in the same space as Trish Scarber. She is planning on doing some monster hunting. We'll see how that works out this turn. We have a formless spawn and a deep one hanging out in the north town streets, and a maniac parked on the gate at the City of the Great Race. We have several places with clues around the board. The Historical Society and Hibbs Roadhouse both have 2, and we have 1 sitting on the Silver Twilight Lodge right now. Current other investigator statuses here. We've got George Barnaby in the first space of the Abyss. We have Tommy Muldoon in Yuggoth, first space, both of which are going to be moving to second space soon, and hopefully in another turn be sealing some gates. Hanging out in Kingsport, we do have Vincent Lee, who is spending his time keeping the Rift track in line. Alright, so that's an overview of the board and our investigators, and we're going to go ahead and get to our upkeep of turn number 9. We will start with Trish Scarber, who is doing some monster hunting this time, and we are not probably going to be moving at all, but we're going to go ahead and crank our luck up 2. We're going to put our sneak up 2, and we'll put our lore up 1. Alright, there's our 3 clicks on the slider for Trish Scarber. She doesn't have anything else to do except to reset her elephant gun. She's going to need to spend $2, which that's not a problem for her. She's loaded with money thanks to George Barnaby's business associate situation. So she gets to refresh her elephant gun. Now she's loaded with 2 elephant guns and a 357 Magnum, and a couple of other items that are going to be pretty useful. Okay, I'm going to take her money and drop it into the money pit right over here. Alright. Now, George Barnaby lost his retainer last turn. That was such a drag. His sliders are going to stay where they are because he's going to use all of his focus to refresh his disguise, just in case he needs it this next turn to avoid any combats. He's not doing particularly well with only 1 sanity and his maximum, of course, of 3 stamina. He has got enough clues right now to seal a gate, so we're hoping he gets back to Arkham soon. Now, Vincent Lee is not going to move this turn. He is going to actually stay where he is at the Congregational Hospital to remove another Rift token, and while he's there, I think he's going to spend his $1 and regain a sanity, because sitting on 1 sanity is not a good idea right now for him. So he's going to keep his sliders where they are because he doesn't need to be moving. And the will is sort of high. Lore is high because of his will checks. His spells and things he might want to use later. Looking over at Tommy Muldoon, I know I said last time that the terror trackers had an impact on Trish Scarber's personal story, but it wasn't her story. It was actually Tommy Muldoon's personal story, where it matters if the terror track ever gets to 5. He has none of his gear currently exhausted, so he's fine there. He doesn't need to adjust anything really. He's going to keep his fight at 5. That's what he's going to be using to try and close the gate. So the only thing that happens for him is he's going to gain his salary for being the deputy of Arkham. He will gain $1. He is sort of liking having some money. It's been a while since he's had any money to speak of. He's up to $4 now. A little bit of a ding on his sanity, but not too bad. I think that that's going to wrap it up for our upkeep phase in turn number 9. Okay, here we are, about ready to start the movement phase in turn number 9. I did forget one thing during the upkeep step. I seem to always forget this, or every other turn anyway. Forgot to move the first player marker. So Trish Scarber is going to be our first player this turn. And she's going to have the most interesting movement turn. She is not going to move, but since combat happens during the movement step, here's what we're going to end up doing. We're going to use the Flute of the Outer Gods. Lose 3 sanity and 3 stamina, and discard the Flute of the Outer Gods before making a combat check to defeat all the monsters in your current area. Not good against the Ancient Ones. So this is going to be how we're going to defeat both of our monsters in the street right there with us. That will get rid of both the Fire Vampire and the Night Gaunt. Very good. And we're going to take our Flute of the Outer Gods and discard it where it goes. That cost us 3 sanity. And 3 stamina. That's a big hit on the stamina. We have to go find Vincent Lee, the doctor, and have him do some healing on us. There we go. Alright. And we will claim a couple of monster trophies. That's pretty snazzy. She now has, looking at all her monster trophies, she has 6 points worth of monster trophies. That is a good deal, because we did have come into effect last turn a rumor, the Southside Strangler, and we're going to have to go to Ma's boarding house to discard some monster trophies, and she is now configured. Oh, wait a minute, it's discard clue tokens. That's right, discarding clue tokens. 5 clue tokens. Yes, discards 5 clue tokens. It will resolve the Southside Strangler rumor, which she does have 5 clue tokens. While she's over there, she can have an encounter at Ma's boarding house and maybe get an ally. No, we shouldn't have quite enough for that, but it does put her within reach of the South Church for a blessing. That's probably a much better plan. Get a blessing on at least one person in the group, maybe even herself. Okay, so that was an exciting turn for Trish. We're going to put our monster stands over there. It helps us with our flying monsters too. They're really annoying. George Barnaby has an easy movement. He's just moving to the next space of the Abyss. Vincent Lee is staying where he is, not moving at all. So nothing for him to do there. And Tommy Muldoon will be moving to the second space in Yawgoth. Okay, I do believe that that's going to do it for this movement phase in turn number 9. Okay, here we are ready to start the encounter phase of turn number 9. We will begin with Trish Scarber, our first player, who will have no encounter since she is standing in the streets in Rivertown. We have George Barnaby in the second space of the Abyss, and we will draw his encounter card and see that we do have an encounter in the Abyss. The phosphorescent fungus makes this cavern appealing to rest a moment, but the toxic spores they emit prove dangerous. Make a will -1 check with 2 successes needed, or lose 2 sanity and 2 stamina. Oh my goodness. A will -1 check with 2 successes needed. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a problem. Okay. We got a problem because our will is a 2. And I have got not a lot to do except maybe spend some clue tokens. Alright. Well, I'm going to end up with 0 dice, but we're going to spend our research materials as a clue. So that's our first one. We're going to go ahead and throw another clue into the mix, since we have to have 2 successes minimum to succeed. We're going to grab a couple of dice here. And if I get really lucky, we'll roll 2 successes on the first roll. And I roll, look at that! Success and success! 5 and 6. It only cost me 1 clue token and the loss of research materials, but that was awesome luck, George Barnaby, because if he had taken that hit, he would have been lost in space and time, because he has not enough sanity to take that hit. So we're going to take our clue token, put it back into the bucket of clues. There we go. Alright, so excellent job, George Barnaby. There is nothing else to resolve on that card, so that's it for him. Vincent Lee is having an encounter. I did do that out of sequence, I should say. The Otherworld encounter should have happened after the Arkham encounters, but in this case it is not going to make a difference. I'm just going to go down the line. So that Vincent Lee, instead of having a normal encounter at the Congregational Hospital, we're going to seek treatment, and you may spend $1 to regain 1 sanity and 1 stamina. We don't need stamina, but we do need a sanity. That will cost us our only $1. Now this is potentially a problem, because he is now stuck in Kingsport with no way to pay for a train ticket home. Fortunately, there is Neil's Curiosity Shop, who will buy stuff from you at either half list price or list price, depending on your check. And he has at least a knife that he can turn around and sell. So we have a way to generate a little bit of income. And we're going to lastly finish up with Tommy Muldoon, who is in the second space of Yuggoth, and let's see what his encounter draw says. Ryla in the Dreamland, so we go to Other. A monster appears from the shadows. So all we have to do is fight a monster. Alright. We do have a rifle and the pistol, so we have a little bit of combat power here for Tommy, and he's got a fight of 5 right now. Biggest part is going to be that horror check. Alright. And we will draw a Logger. Alright, this is a 0 to evade. We might end up evading it. Oh, it has weapon immunity. Oh my goodness. Well, we don't have much choice here with a -2 combat. We're going to, holy smokes. Do we have any way we can maybe evade this with his evade 0 with the Ancient One modifier is going to be a -1. My sneak is a 3. That would give us 2 dice to sneak around this thing and not have to fight it. This is tough. 2 dice. What are my odds of success? Not great. I really can't spend any clues if I'm going to seal this gate. If I do have to fight this thing, -2, with no weapons available. Yeah, he has nothing but weapons. He doesn't have anything else that he can do. So he'd be rolling 3 dice to get 2 successes. Or is it better to roll 2 dice to get 1 success? We're going to try to evade this creature. Really hope we can make this happen here. So we're going to have a sneak of 3. The Ancient One is giving the monster an extra 1 penalty, so instead of being a 0 to avoid it, it'll be -1, which lets us roll 2 dice. This is where it would have been nice to have that blessing already in hand. Alright, here we go. 2 dice in the cup. Gotta get 1 success here. Oh, I hope this works. And we get the 6! Woohoo! Yay! Tommy Muldoon will evade the monster. Would have been nice to actually have beaten it, but we do not have enough good gear for him to do that, because if he beats monsters right now, they do not go back in the cup. they go out of the game. That's very, very nice. But we're going to take this nasty creature and drop him back into the cup. Okay, that is going to wrap it up for the encounter phase. All of our investigators have had their encounters, and that should wrap it up for the encounter phase, turn number 9. Alright, here we go. Mythos phase, turn number 9. Hopefully we'll continue to have a decent round of luck here. Here we have unusual moon rises and environment weather. That's going to replace our current environment, and it does not trigger the king in yellow, which was looking for an environment urban. So let's look for the gate. That will be a gate at the Black Cave. So let's go ahead and get that done. We can hold a gate there. So we're going to draw a gate, another gate to Yuggoth. So we're going to put it in our gate stand here and drop it down at the Black Cave. 2 gates to Yuggoth. We have one at the Witch's House, one at the Black Cave. Now, it is going to put a Doom token on the Doom track. It's only our 4th one, so we're still doing okay there. It is going to put a monster into play. Let's go to the Monster Cup. Shake it up a bit. Reach down to the bottom and see if we can find the Proto-Shuggoth, another really pretty tough creature. We've been drawing really tough creatures here. Alright, I'm going to see if I can get this creature to go into the stand just like that. Perfect. And that will appear at this gate here. Very good. Alright. Now, that was our gate and monster. Let's check out the movement key. That's the circle on the black. Let's put a token on the rift track real quick. Circle on the black. Here's our draw for the token. And the circle on the black will be right here. So we will draw a token that looks like it is 607 Water Street. We'll put that down right there. Alright, that we have Vincent to take care of that later. Now we will do the movements. It is squares, diamonds, and circles. Now, check our flying creatures first. We do have a circle flying creature who will then immediately land. Oh, the Migo will land on Trish. And we have no other circles. The squares and the diamonds, we did just draw a diamond, which is bad for Trish, because that Proto-Shuggoth is going to move into her space as well. Now, normally that's a speedy movement dude. He'll move 2, but once he lands on the investigator, he will stop moving. And it's physical resistance, so she's going to have a tough time with her using her elephant guns there. Alright, I think she can probably take on both of these guys next turn. What she's set up to do right now is hunt monsters. For our other monsters, we have pluses and crescents and hexes, so we have no other monster movement going on. So let's check out what the event... Oh, wait a minute. Clue appears at Hibbs Roadhouse. That's rather interesting. That actually, with 2 clues already there, puts a 3rd clue at Hibbs Roadhouse. Wow, that's pretty unusual. Rarely see 3 clues in one location without some special event going on. Alright. Let's check out the wording on the event. The environment, weather. The moon seems overly large and is close to the horizon from dusk till dawn, casting long shadows throughout the entire night. The scientists at Miskatonic University believe it to be an optical illusion. Sneak and lore checks in Arkham are made at +1 bonus, but will checks in Arkham are made at a -2 penalty. Well, that's pretty good. Sneak and lore, for that matter. +1 lore means we can close gates a little easier if we're using our lore. It also helps, that sneak bonus helps us overcome the Ancient One's penalty. So that's not too bad. We're pretty interesting about that. We're going to replace our current environment, which was the one helping out the Dark Young, and we'll put that in a reminder right there. Okay, not too bad of a Mythos phase. We're pulling those monsters over here towards Trish. which is what she sort of wants to do, is kill monsters right now. That looks like it's going to wrap it up for the Mythos phase for turn 9. That's going to put that one in the books. Alright, here we are at the Arkham Horror Campaign video series, game number 1, the beginning of turn number 10. Alright, a couple of things that I either overlooked or didn't do quite properly last time, particularly with regard to Vincent Lee up in Kingsport. I had intended for him to remove a rift token by having an encounter at a Congregational Hospital. However, what I did instead of having an encounter was heal. And I double checked the rule on this, and if you use a location special ability, that is not considered an encounter and does not, in this case, remove a token from the rift track, which I forgot to remove the token anyway, so he's probably going to have to stay there for just a little bit more and start working on these tokens on the rift track. So that's okay, we'll just do that for this turn. No major backup needed there. Alright, we're going to start with the upkeep phase of turn number 10, and we will start over here with Trish. Now Trish has got a pretty big combat coming up. She has a monster with physical resistance, so she's going to need her fight as high as possible. So we're going to take her fight all the way to the right, that is 3 clicks. We're going to take her will up as high as we can get it, which is 2 clicks. Don't want to use her breaking the limits by spending sanity or stamina to get an extra click on that. I think we're going to be good enough on that because she's not needing to save her clues right now. It would be nice to save them for the Southside Strangler situation, but that is not needed at this time. We've got so many clues on the board. Speaking of the Southside Strangler, I forgot to remove an ally at the end of the Mythos phase. So we're going to momentarily backtrack just a little bit and take the top card off of the ally deck and see who is leaving town. It is the Messenger. He has not been leaving town, he's been killed by the Southside Strangler. So he will be discarded. We'll have to deal with that Southside Strangler eventually, where everybody's going to have slightly lower stats. So back to Trish. I think that she is good where she is. She's got all of her weapons ready. She may end up using both of her elephant guns this time, but well, that'll be okay because she's got plenty of money to reload them. George Barnaby is going to need to do something a little special during the upkeep phase here. We're going to need to use our focus and move our lore as high as I can get it, which is at a 4, because we're actually going to cast a spell, Feeding the Mind, during the upkeep step. You may cast an exhaust and sacrifice an amount of stamina up to the number of successes you rolled. So let's see what our successes are. This has got a casting modifier of -1. We've got a lore of 4, but because of the unusual moonrises, I get a +1 on lore checks. So that's 5 dice, -1 is 4. So I'm going to need to see if I can roll some successes here. At least 1 success. So let's pull up 4 dice into the cup. Come on, surely I can get at least 1 success out of 4 dice. And I have actually 3 successes, 6, 5, 5. So that's very good. All I really wanted was 1 success. And because the Feeding the Mind says sacrifice stamina equal up to the number of successes I rolled, which I'm going to pick 1 in this case. And for each stamina sacrifice, you gain 2 sanity. So I'm going to take away 1 stamina to gain 2 sanity. There we go. That's going to be really important for later. Now we will exhaust our spell. That will cover up, I think that's all he needs to do for his upkeep. I don't see anything else for him. Alright, now moving over to Vincent Lee, who's going to be hanging out at the Congregational Hospital for 1 more turn. I don't see anything else that he needs to do with his stats, so we're going to be good with his upkeep right where he is. Yeah, I don't see any reason, though I could do that. You know what? Anticipation of a later turn, I'm going to go ahead and use one of his focus to get his will up to a 4. I'm going to need that in just a little bit. We'll come back to why in a later. Now Tommy Muldoon is going to be returning to Arkham, just like George Barnaby will. He's got his fight where he wants it. He has nothing else going on for him except gain his salary for being the deputy. So here we go. Tommy gains $1. And we'll put that in our rack here. It gives him $5, which he might decide to just go spending some money just a little bit. Okay, I think that that's going to wrap up. Oh, one more thing. I'm not going to forget it this time. We're passing the first player marker over here to George Barnaby. He's going to be our first player this round. And that, I think, is going to wrap up our upkeep step for turn number 10. Alright, here we are for the movement phase of turn number 10, and we'll do this in player order. So George Barnaby, who is currently in the Abyss, is going to return to Arkham at the gate to the Abyss. He'll be having, during the encounter phase, he's going to try to close and, well, actually he will close and seal that gate using his Elder Sign. Vincent Lee is not moving at all. He's going to stay at the Congregational Hospital and have an encounter so we can move or remove one of the tokens from the Rift Track. Tommy Muldoon is currently in Yuggoth. Now, he entered Yuggoth through the Witch's House, but since then a new gate to Yuggoth has appeared right next door at the Black Cave, and he's actually going to return to Arkham at that gate, since you're allowed to return to any gate for the same world. I'd like to get that space clear because Vincent Lee's eventually going to need to go there for his task, actually for his mission. So he's going to return to there and close, hopefully during the encounter phase, close and seal that gate. Alright, with a little bit of luck, Trish will have killed off all these monsters, and then he'll have a clear run to go, maybe even trade with Trish to get some of her either money or items. Alright, very good. I do believe, oh, well, I forgot to go to Trish. Here we go, Trish. About to have her turn, and she is piling up the monster trophies here. Very nice. And she's about to get some more. So, we have here in the streets, since we're not moving, we're going to have a combat here. And we're going to pick up the Migo and do him first. In checking him, he has a horror check -1. Alright, and that means that's a will check -1. She has a will of 3. With 1 for her skill gives us a 4. And we're going to, not going to use that. So 4 minus the 2 for the environment is 2 dice. So we're going to take our chances with 2 dice here. And then to roll 2 dice. And there we have it, a success. So she takes no sanity damage. Now it's time for the combat. This is a fairly easy combat. It's a +0 battle, and only need to get 1 success. So we will look at our fight, which is a 4, and I think for this battle we're going to use our 357. Yeah, because I might need both the elephant guns for the next battle. So we're going to use our 357. Gives us +5 to a combat check. That gives us 9 dice to battle this Migo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 dice. 9 dice. All I need is 1 success. This is almost a guarantee. We have at least 1, and I'm looking around. Oh, we have 2 successes. I see 1 hiding in the shadows right over there. So 2 successes. That will claim the Migo. Now, she doesn't get the Migo as a trophy. Instead, it is removed from the game, and we get a unique item. So, put our monster stand there, and we draw a unique item from the unique item pile. Let's see what she gets. Crystal of the Elder Things. Okay, well, this lets her have bonuses when casting spells. Not really useful. It might be useful for either George Barnaby or Vincent Lee, though. We're going to stack it up right over here with her goods. There we go. And that's the first of her 2 battles. Now we're going to look at this Proto-Shuggoth. Alright. The horror check here is a +0. So let's check out what that's going to mean. We have a wheel of 4 with a stat of 1 that gives us 5. The environment's giving us -2, which is 3 dice. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and use our courageous inspirations and get us an extra 1. That will be 4 dice total on the roll. Let's pick up all the dice from the last roll. Get 4 more. Here we go. Back in the cup. Need 1 success here. And we got ourselves a success with a 6. Perfect. I planned on using clues if necessary to have to face these horror checks. That would have been a 2 loss insanity. That's no good. Alright, now it's time to do the battle. This is the hard part. It's only a +0, but it takes 3 successes. So let's look at what we've got for that. We've got a fight of 4. Alright, we're going to use one of our elephant guns, but Proto-Shoggoth has physical resistance, so instead of adding 8, we're only going to be adding 4 to that. That's 8 dice to try to get 3 hits. Now we're prepared to use as many clues as necessary to make this happen. 8 dice. I'm hoping with 8 dice that we can turn around and get enough. That looks like 7 dice right there, so let's grab one of these. We'll grab a white one. Okay, 8 dice. We need 3 hits. Here we go. And we see what we have out of all of those dice. 1 hit. Okay, so we're going to need to spend at least 2 clues, which I was planning to spend 2 clues anyway. There's 2 clues in the bucket. Let's draw 2 more dice and see if I can get 2 more hits out of this. And I got 1 hit out of this. The other one did not hit. That gives us 2 successes. Here comes another clue. Alright, and now we're going to grab another dice. So we can get a hit here. And that is not a hit. Alright, uh-oh, our clues are running out. Here comes another clue. Alright, 1 more dice in the cup. Come on, get a little lucky. There it is. That's our 3rd hit. 3 successes out of all those dice. 8, 9, 10, 11 dice. We took us to get 3 successes. This is, however, a trophy she will get to keep. So, we'll put that in our pile of trophies here. We've got a real big pile of trophies. That's really nice. That gives her 6, 7, 8, 9. Really nice. Another monster down. She's put a big dent in her clues, but there are a lot of clues to be had. And I need to keep her at no higher than 3 anyway, because if she accidentally does gain 2 clue tokens in an encounter, she will pass her personal story. Alright, well that was quite exciting. Big battles going on there. And I think that that's going to wrap it up for our movement phase. I don't see anything else we need to do. So, that's the movement phase for turn number 10. Alright, here we go with the encounter phase in turn number 10. And we're going to see why I cast that Feeding the Mind spell for George Barnaby. He is going first, but you see he's going to be using his Elder Sign to close and seal the gate to the abyss. And the problem is the Elder Sign requires you to lose 1 stamina and 1 sanity. If I hadn't healed that sanity, I would have gone insane and failed my personal story for him. So, we are going to, one other really nice thing is, in addition, remove 1 Doom token from the Doom track. So, we're going to get rid of that so it doesn't go back into the discard pile. Go ahead and take the Doom token off of the Doom track. That's a really helpful thing. Love that when that happens. We're going to grab a seal. Alright, there's our first seal. And we're going to take the gate off the board, putting a seal at the woods. Okay, the first seal. Now this is a hexagon gate. He will claim this gate trophy. Let's go ahead and put this down here. And put our gate stand back over here. And we do have a single hexagon monster on the board. That will be the Formless Spawn, a hex monster. So that monster is sucked back to where it came from, putting it back in the cup. And now we have nowhere near our monster limit. This is a really good thing. Alright, way to go, George Barnaby, our first seal into the books. Alright, for our other encounters, we have Vincent Lee at the Congregational Hospital. Now, before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and remove the token from the rift track to indicate he has done the encounter here, but hopefully the encounters in the Congregational Hospital has so far been fairly grotesque and morbid. Let's see what happens here. Alright, Congregational Hospital, you have a horrifying vision of yourself on an operating table, horribly wounded. Make a will check +1 to convince yourself it's only an illusion. If you pass, lose 1 sanity. Woo! If you fail, the pain feels real to you, lose 1 sanity and 2 stamina. Okay, well, will check +1, that's probably going to be okay. Since I have a will of 4, and that's all I see there, so it's going to take a 4 dice check on the will. Alright, 4 dice in the cup. Oh wait, it's a will check +1, I get an extra dice. Alright, 5 dice, and we get a success there with a 6. So all we end up doing is losing a sanity from this horrible vision. Alright, that as usual is a pretty morbid encounter at the Congregational Hospital. Alright, now we're going to come to Tommy Muldoon, who is returned from Yuggoth, and technically he gets a little mark on him, but if he closes this gate, I'm not worried about putting the marker out. He's going to attempt to close this gate with a 5 fight. There is a -2 modifier on the gate to Yuggoth, so he's only going to get to roll 3 dice. And we're really going to hope that this works. Alright, because I don't want to have to spend too many turns here trying to close this gate. So here we go, 3 dice. And voila! We get 2 successes, not a problem for Tommy Muldoon to close this gate. Alright, he's going to claim a gate trophy with a circle on it. There's his gate trophy. Put the stand back over here. And there is, or no, there was, before it was killed, a monster with a circle on it, one of our flyers. And he is going to spend his 5 clue tokens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, 5 clue tokens to the bank to put our second seal into place. Alright, 1/3 of the way there. Excellent job, Tommy. And Trish Scarver has standing in the streets, so she will not be having an encounter this round. Alright, that was a pretty successful turn so far. As long as the Mythos phase doesn't kick us in the face, we've cleared out a whole lot of monsters, sealed 2 gates, with 3 gates still open, 2 of them not very difficult to close and seal, or close. We're not configured right now for sealing, but we have a lot of clues still on the board, and we will have to eventually be dealing with this Southside Strangler. I think I'm going to leave that in the hands of Trish. She's probably the best candidate for that. She can probably get the 5 clues she needs to do that over the course of the next couple of turns before the rumor runs out. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for the encounter phase for turn number 10. Alrighty, here we are at the Mythos phase of turn number 10. So far so good. This turn has actually been pretty good for the investigators. Let's see if we can avoid any catastrophes during the Mythos phase. We draw our Mythos card, and it is a rumor, the Great Ritual, which is a horrible rumor, but the good news is we can ignore the special effects of this card because we already have a rumor in play. We first will resolve the gate is opening at the graveyard. That is available for a gate, so we're going to first put a Doom token on the Doom track. Okay, still only on 4. We will draw a gate. This is a gate to Ryla. Ooh, the toughest of all the worlds. It's Ryla. that will appear at the graveyard, which does cause one clue token to go away. And on rumor cards, there is no clue appearing, so that will just go back to the cup. We don't get a new clue on the board. We have a lot of clues right now, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Now we're going to check the movement of the monsters. It's black hex on the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and draw the rift token. Black hex on black hex. Alright, we're going to draw a token here. This will be, looks like the rope and anchor, and the black hex on the bottom is right here. So, right there. Alright, very good. Alright, maybe that will be something for us to deal with in just a minute. Now we'll actually do with the monster movement. We have the only monsters on the board right now. Oh wait, I forgot to draw a monster for our new gate. Let's get a new monster onto the table. Here we go. Get the monster cup. Give it some shaking there. And reach in. Come on, don't be too... We've got a lot of bad monsters here, so let's see if we can get one that's not too bad. Oh, a rat thing. Alright. Yes, indeed. And this is, I believe, one of the elusive ones. What's the purple border? That's the elusive, or is that the... I think that's the elusive. I'll have to go check that one out in a minute. But the rat thing... Oh, need to get a base. Let's pull a base from the pile here and see if I can get him to stand up in it. There we go. Right there. Alright, he will appear here. His movement symbol is a circle, so let's check out and see who moves. That gives us a crescent, a plus, a crescent, and a circle. And we have none of those on this movement pattern, so all the monsters will stay where they are. And because of the rule for no duplicate rumors, we can ignore the entire rest of this card. It gets discarded with no effect. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that away, and we will, however, have one more ally taken out of the deck as the Southside Strangler strikes again. Let's reach over here to the ally deck and see who's leaving town now. It will be Ruby Standish. It's now been slain by the Southside Strangler. Our ally deck is getting a little thinner, but I think we still have a few more turns before we have to worry overly about that. Alright, and I think that that's going to put turn number 10 in the books. Overall, pretty decent turn for all of us. Don't like that gate to Ryla, that's a tough one. We still have a couple of gates that are not too difficult to close. If we can get all these gates closed, in the near future anyway, we might be able to win by having all the gates closed. I don't know that we can be able to get enough of them into the gates right away. Interesting thought though. Okay, that's going to put term number 10 in the books, and we're going to wrap it up here, and we'll see you back for the next video.